Over the years, I have tested thousands of shoes, meticulously analyzed the pros and cons of each one, but today, I'm going through the pairs that I actually wear. The ones that I have chosen to wear on a regular basis because they are the best of the best in terms of comfort, quality, and practicality. And of course, style, can't forget that. But I'm also going to be going over the pairs that I don't wear anymore, which is actually really interesting. I've been making this series for 4 years now, and I think this one has some of the biggest surprises out of them all. As usual, we're going to be putting these shoes into categories. We got the everyday sneakers, the active or gym shoes, the fancy when I need to dress up a little bit, the beaters, and the bad. We'll explain as we go along, but let's get straight into the easiest to understand, the everydays. So these are the shoes I wear on a regular daily basis. This is definitely the biggest category and arguably the most important. To be a good everyday shoe, it has to be super comfortable, super versatile, something that you can pretty much wear with anything. So let's kick it off with a couple that I'm still wearing from the last episode. They've stayed with me for over a year. First, the Nike V5 Runner, a pair that I talk about constantly on the channel just because I believe it is one of the best value Nike shoes you can buy. Super affordable. Like, I've been so tempted to pick up multiple colorways of these things, but these ones are still doing me good, and I think I'm gonna get a ton more wear during the summertime. It's just a nice one to have by the door. Whenever I'm leaving the house, I just throw these things on when I need them. Highly recommend if you are interested, but generally speaking, it has like all of the same pros that any kind of retro runner would have. Another one I'm still wearing, the Adidas XLG Runner. Not only am I still wearing this pair, this is the first one I got, but I've also added like 3 or 4 different colorways of the exact same shoe to the rotation. I rotate wearing them all just because I love this pair of shoes so much. I get it, it's a crazy look, very Balenciaga-ish, but it's also like extremely comfortable. So you can put like these super dope outfits together and also have something that you can wear all day long. So I love taking this with me when I'm traveling. It's just a great pair of shoes, and I don't see myself stopping wearing these things for the foreseeable future. But if you are interested, you've probably never seen this pair of shoes before. It's because it's a China exclusive, unfortunately. So in China, you can pick these things up in store. Here, you cannot, or in the US, but you can find them online. I'll try and leave links for all of the different shoes that I mentioned in today's video, just because I know some of you mentioned that last time. You wanted me to do that, so I'll do my best. But yeah, XLG Runner, not only am I still wearing it, but more than ever. Right, let's get into some new stuff. And we gotta kick it off with one of my favorite new additions, the Adidas SL72 Pro. Probably another one that you've never seen before. Another China exclusive, unfortunately. I have no idea why Adidas hasn't dropped these things globally. They are relatively new, so maybe they will. But again, I'll try and find them online and leave some links in the description. Regardless, the general idea behind this pair of shoes is quite simple. It's basically got the Evo SL midsole with the SL72 upper. A little bit of a combination thing going on over here, and the result is genuinely impressive. This is such a cool pair of shoes. Now, I will say from the Evo SL, if you have tried that pair, the midsole compound is a little bit different. This is now Light Strike Plus foam instead of Light Strike Pro. It's still soft and squishy and insanely comfortable, but it is less kind of responsive and bouncy like the runner shoes are, you know, the Evo SLs. It makes sense. It just makes these a lot better and more equipped for everyday use for most people. But man, I've been loving throwing these things on. They're like still got that super lightweight thing to them, just like the Evo SLs. They go with so many different outfits and I think just look incredibly cool. So yeah, I get a ton of wear and I've just been loving wearing these things recently. So last year, one of my most worn shoes, actually it might even been for 2 of the episodes running, was the Kayano 14 from Asics. But I've actually stopped wearing these for quite a while now. Not because they're bad, but because I've replaced them with these 2 shoes. So this one probably the most similar. This is the Kayano 12.1. Very, very similar, if not damn near identical. But one of my personal favorites that I've been wearing is the GT2160. And honestly, out of the 3 here, I would argue that these are my favorite. Even though they're the cheapest and most affordable, like the comfort factor is still pretty much identical between all 3. Like you're getting the exact same feeling. These just cost a lot more. And yes, maybe some people prefer the look, but I'm kind of indifferent. I just really like these. It's one of those things like where if I could have started over, I probably just would have gone with these ones just because they're cheaper. Either way, generally speaking, Asics just know what they're doing when it comes to a retro runner sneaker. These are so damn comfortable, both of them in fact, and they're like my go-to vacation shoes just because they're so incredibly versatile. I know that I can just take like this pair of shoes and it can do do so many different things. If I need to go to the gym in the morning, I'm wearing these. If I've got to be out on my feet all day, sneaker shopping or making videos, I know I can do 20,000 steps in these things and still feel fresh. And then of course, because of the cool look, you can easily dress these things up, throw on a pair of pants, a jacket, and actually look dope. So yeah, in terms of like bang for your buck value, a retro runner like this, like the GT2160, is just so incredibly good. It can literally take care of like 90% of your wear if you're on vacation or something, or just on day-to-day life. So yeah, these two, highly recommend if you haven't tried them. The Kayano 12.1, I just think it's a sick look, and the 2160. Try these things out. They're dope. But if we're talking retro runners, they're not actually my favorite. My favorite has to be the Brooks Adrenaline GTS 10. These things are wild. I've been wearing these for the past, I'd say 3 months at this point. I've got 2 different colorways, and honestly, I think it's like one of my favorite pairs of shoes, and it's definitely going to be like my sneaker of the summertime for sure. Now, I have spoke about these a couple different times in different videos in the past, but what separates these from any other retro runner on the market pretty much is the fact that these are the most comfortable, hands down. And the way that Brooks achieved this insane level of comfort is pretty simple. They just swapped out the midsole for a new cushioning technology. Unlike all of the other retro runners, which are still using stuff from the early 2000s, they shoved their most comfortable foam that they use in the Brooks Glycerin Max sneakers into this. Like, visually, it looks identical, but when you put these things off, you feel that soft, squishy foam. You just don't want to take these things off. I think they look dope as well. Like, if you're into retro runner shoes just because of how versatile and comfortable they are, like, this is just the best option I have found. So yeah, been loving wearing these things, and even though I've got 2 colors, I was even contemplating picking up another one because they've dropped quite a few solid ones. Yeah, gotta give it to Brooks, man. These things are dope. But that's pretty much the majority of my everyday, so let's move on to the next category, the active, the stuff that I'm wearing to the gym. And this category has had the biggest shakeup by far. Kicking it off, one that was in last year's video, last year's rotation, the Evo SL. I still wear these things, however, they're getting pretty beat down, so they're maybe just about to go to the beater category pretty soon. But yeah, I still wear these things. They're still incredibly comfortable. It's just one of those, like, if I know I'm going to be walking for a long time, or if I'm specifically going for a walk or a run, I like to wear these. But I mean, you've heard so much about this pair of shoes. I don't need to go in depth. It's a great pair, and I highly recommend trying it out if you haven't. It lives up to the hype. I'll just put it that way. But this next category, you guys are not ready for. Barefoot shoes. Look, this one's pretty crazy, and as you can see, I've almost got a little barefoot shoe collection at this point. So let's just slow it down and take it one by one. The hilarious thing about this is, like, I started wearing barefoot shoes as an experiment, as a video, to almost like take down the barefoot shoe industry and prove them their crazy claims wrong. But instead of wearing them for 30 days straight, I ended up wearing them for 365 and counting. I wear this pair every single day to the gym, and I love them. When I say I love them, I love barefoot shoes in general. This is the Vivo Barefoot shoe, and it's okay. It's really not the best looking. It gets cooked pretty quickly, and I do think it's very overpriced. In fact, most, if not all, barefoot shoes are overpriced. It almost feels like the supermarket equivalent of like an organic product that costs so much more for really not much reason. Regardless, these get the job done, and they're pretty decent for the gym. I just love the stability feeling of having that flat footbed, and then also the wider toe box is just generally speaking quite nice sometimes. Like, so many of our regular shoes kind of constrict your feet a little bit, so having a little bit more breathing room is really nice. But what I will say is that I do think a lot of the marketing gimmicks, especially by Vivo, are a little bit wild. The whole, like, they're going to change your life and they're going to fix all of your problems, I don't agree with that stuff, and I do think that these are just kind of like a preference or a tool. Like, you wear running shoes to run for a reason. I wouldn't swap out to barefoot shoes for my entire rotation. I don't think I'll ever do that. Then I went out and bought the most controversial shoe I think I've ever worn, the 5 Fingers. Yes, they are wild, they are crazy, but they're kind of nice to wear. Like, they actually feel really good. The problem is, and why I actually don't wear these very often, is the simple fact that they take a million years to put on. You have to get special socks, and then you have to sit down and just like shimmy them on over each individual toe and then adjust them. And that process does take a few minutes, which is just something that I think about putting them on, and then I'm like, nah, I'm gonna wear something else today. And then finally, I've got the ohneProject barefoot shoe. This one is a little bit more of like an everyday shoe, but mostly I just wear it for walking. It's extremely comfortable in terms of like barefoot shoes. I think this is hands down the most comfortable barefoot shoe I have tried. Again, very expensive, but I do like the look of them, and I do think that they achieve the same thing where you just get a lot more freedom in your feet. You just feel like you're walking around barefoot, which is nice. But look, don't knock barefoot shoes until you try them. I used to think these were the most ridiculous category of shoes, the whole barefoot thing, something that I almost swore to myself that I would never wear. And then I tried them. Next for this category is the Vomero Plus. I love these things. They are definitely in my active category just because they are hands down one of the most comfortable shoes that I own. Great pair. I think they're really good looking as well. I do kind of wish I got a different color though, because I'm wearing these now and it's like, it's not a bad color and I really do like it, but Nike has released some absolute banger colorways on this model. But it's like, I've already got a pair. I'm not going to buy another one just for a switch up of color. But yes, if you're looking for like an insanely comfortable pair of shoes, these things are it. And then last one up for this category, the Nike Ja 3. This is such a cool pair of shoes and one of my favorite basketball models at this point. The only one I'm kind of eyeing up is the Ja 4s that are supposed to be coming out relatively soon. But in terms of like performance, these things are great. And when I say performance, I'm not talking basketball. I don't play basketball, even though obviously these are like decent for basketball, but I wear these as kind of like every day to the gym. I also play paddle every single weekend, and this is the pair of shoes that I wear. They've just got such good grip and like stability for your feet so you don't roll your ankles in them. So yeah, overall, I just really like the look of them. I think they're one of the best looking basketball shoes I have seen on the market right now. Next category, the fancy. Now these are the shoes I wear if I've got some kind of event coming up or something that I need to dress up for slightly. Now I very, very rarely actually have to dress up, so sneakers are what I have the most of. But when that rare occasion does come around, I've got two kind of dressy type shoes. First one is literally just a pair of chunky boots from Zara. I actually think Zara is kind of underrated for some of the more like formal wear. Now, these are not the most formal, but I'm never going to be going like full formal. These are just decent quality. They're nice and chunky, which is what I like in a pair of boots. I love the squared off toe box style. It's nice leather, so it's actually soft and it actually like creases really nicely. They're easy to throw on with a zip, which I think is going to be a theme that you'll notice with most of my boots. Is I kind of like laceless boots a lot of the time. It's just something I've discovered about myself. But yeah, they're affordable, which is exactly what I want because I don't really wear them that often, and they get the job done. I think they look dope. And then the other one again is a chunky pair of derbies. These are the ones I actually got when I was out in China visiting the wholesale shopping mall. Sounds crazy, but that exists out there. If you want to know a little bit more about the like how I got these and that whole insane mall place I went to, definitely check out that video. I'll leave it linked in the description. But essentially insanely affordable, pretty damn high quality, and I think look dope. They almost look like the Balenciaga, what are those boots? The strike boots, but just the low cut version. Another pair of boots, these ones are a little bit more recent, the Diemme Shearling boot. Now again, when I'm talking fancy, I'm not talking like literally suit and tie type beat. I'm talking like, you know, I need to dress up, I need to put a sick outfit together. These are definitely one of them. Boots, generally speaking, are my go-to for that. Now look, I'm not gonna say these are the best boots out there in terms of like if I was actually going to critically review them, they're not even that comfortable, but they are very well made, super high quality. You've got like this Shearling liner, which is really nice on the inside. Essentially, these are just like super expensive Uggs, but the design is really nice. The shape is really, really nice, and I got them for an absolute steal. I would never pay full price, but yeah, I got them for like stupid discount. And if you can find these on sale, I think they look super, super dope. So yeah, I really like these things. Oh, and I almost forgot. Should have put these at the beginning, but yeah, I still wear these things. The Yeezy knit runner boot. This is the pair that I wear if I know I gotta put a crazy outfit together, and they are getting kind of cooked, which is sad because I wish I got a double up while these were still somewhat affordable. But yeah, these are by far the most comfortable boots I have ever owned. It's a wild design, something that I just think is so unique. The outfits that you could put together are truly like, damn, like crazy. But yeah, definitely one of my favorite shoes, and it's crazy how long, like I have worn these nonstop ever since I got them, and every time I put them on, I just really enjoy wearing them. It's a special pair, one that is never going to leave until they are absolutely cooked and I cannot wear them anymore. But yeah, the Yeezy knit runner boot, one of my favorites. Last category before we get into the bad. Let's talk about beaters. This one's gonna be pretty quick because I've only got a couple pairs now of beaters. The rest have all kind of gone to a better place. Let's just put it that way. Now, I'm not going to pull this pair out because they are still so dirty. I don't even want to bring them into the studio, but it is the 3D printed Vision boot by Zellerfeld. I've said this before and I'll say it again. 3D printed shoes as beaters are amazing. And when I say beaters as a category, I mean these are the kind of shoes that you want to wear when you're doing an activity where you know your shoes are going to get cooked. I'm talking mowing the lawn, washing the car, going on a hike, going to a location which has got a crazy terrain that is going to get your shoes all dirty. That's what you wear beaters for. And usually it's just your older shoes that you no longer wear on a regular basis that just get passed down to the beater category. Either way, 3D printed shoes, I love wearing them as beaters because they're just practically indestructible. Like literally, I took these Vision boots on a crazy hike where there was like rivers and like knee-deep mud, and you can literally just throw these things in the washing machine, and at the end of it, they are brand new. They don't crease, they don't have stitching that can come undone, they don't wear down as quickly as other shoes. It's just an amazing pair of shoes to throw whatever you want at them. I'd probably say these are a beater now. I don't wear these as often. They're kind of cooked, and obviously because I wore them so extensively, they're on their way out. So yeah, if it's raining outside, I won't mind throwing these on. Right, let's get into the bad, or just shoes that I don't wear anymore. Now, there's plenty of shoes on last year's list that I don't wear anymore, and those ones I'm not gonna talk about because there's no specific reason. It's just kind of like I've just stopped wearing them for the moment. They might return. They're still good shoes, but I do want to talk about the ones that I've stopped wearing, which are, they have some kind of significance to it, and I really did notice it. First one, which I kind of feel a little bit guilty about, but that is just Jordans. This one's almost like a little bit painful. I love Jordans. I own so many Jordans. I just don't wear them anymore, at least for the past few months. I think the best example of why I've kind of stopped wearing Jordans at the moment is really down to this shoe right here. Late last year, I took a trip to Asia where I pretty much spent a month out there going to multiple different countries, and I decided to take this pair, the Jordan 4 White Oreo. But every time I put these things on, I just had this thought in the back of my head where it's like, I would rather be wearing almost any other shoe right now. Something more comfortable, something more versatile. My feet were absolutely breaking wearing these things, and keep in mind, I'm doing like 10 to 15,000 steps a day trying to record all these different locations, and I got these on my feet. So I wore them like twice on the trip and then just didn't really want to wear them anymore because of how painful they were in comparison to what else I had brought, which was a bunch of other retro runners and different stuff like that. So they ended up just taking space in my suitcase because, again, I'm not really going to wear these to the gym, and when you have like other shoes and different options that can do so much more and stay comfortable. Now look, I love the way that they looked. I thought my outfit was hard wearing these things, and I still like the way that they look, but you know, they're heavy, they're uncomfortable. It's just one of those things like, you know, at the moment, just not really wearing Jordans. If Jordan Brand could just make it look exactly like this, but just throw some soft foam in there so you just feel a little bit better, I feel like I would wear these so much more. Now look, I've still got a ton of insane Jordans that I love and I know I'm going to wear in the future, but honestly right now I'm just having so much fun trying out new technology and stuff from different brands. Another almost category at this point that I do not wear anymore is foam slides. They were in most of my previous rotations, whether it's the Yeezy slides or different slides from other brands. I've just kind of completely gone off them. Now I've kind of replaced all of the foam and 3D printed slides with a few different mules that are actually like leather and a little bit more just like, I guess not as comfortable, but just something I find myself opting for a lot more of the time. It's this Skylark mule, which I think is really comfortable and just like a unique look. And then I'm also wearing these Salt Studio mules. Those things are pretty decent. But I guess while we're on the topic of mules, one that I do not wear anymore for very good reason are these things. Boy, oh boy, did I try to wear them. This is the Mind Mule by Nike, the wild, like the little node thing that presses into your feet that's supposed to mind control you. Yeah, I wore these probably for like a solid month and then just was like, I'm never putting these on again. They are so annoying. I am not a fan of these at all. I saw a bunch of people wearing them casually, and in my mind, I'm like, how do you do that? Like, wearing them once and just like around the house for like a day, even then, it's like you feel these little nodes pressing into your feet, and it just gets frustrating. It's like, I don't want all of that. So yeah, look, I love the way that they look. I think these are wild. I even like the look of underneath, but I just don't like the way that they feel. To me, these little nodes pressing into the bottom of your foot just gets annoying after a while. So honestly, these are like one of the most popular shoes right now, and everybody wants a pair. I don't understand it. I mean, I get the visual appeal, but comfort-wise, like, there's so many better other options out there. But yeah, there you have it. Like always, I would absolutely love to know what you guys are wearing. What is your current rotation at the moment? Let me know in the comments. I'm gonna have a read through, see what you guys got cooking in your rotations. And of course, I'm also gonna throw a video in the top left-hand corner. Click that one to check it out. It's a banger.